Sure is awkward.
Chase. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another Tribute Talk discussion. We are continuing our Sunrise and the Reaping reread with Chapter 2 tonight. But before we dive into that, just some quick introductions of who's on the live. I'm your host, Emily, and I'm joined by Jerry, Ronnie, Chase, AJ, Gabby, and we have some very special guests on tonight. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, we've had a couple of episodes with one of our favorite Hunger Games teachers, Dr. Thomas Paradis, who has written several companion books for the series. And if you haven't listened to those episodes, they're really awesome. Dr. Paradis is so cool. Please go back and listen to those. But tonight we have, and for the next couple of weeks, we have some students from Dr. Paradis's class joining us tonight. They've been reading all of the books throughout the year and are currently reading Sunrise on the Reaping. So, Blake, Olivia, Izzy, and Emily, I think I got everyone. Welcome to the show and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. I've never done any podcast or anything like this before, but just a little bit of background about, how I got into the Hunger Games. I'd never really looked into it or had really heard anything about it until I came to Butler. And I signed up for the Hunger Games FYS because it seemed like a fun class, and I did read a little bit when I was younger. So then I started reading it, and this class was filled with a lot of people who loved the Hunger Games and who had read a lot about it. And I got, more and more into it to the point where, I'd start reading ahead in class. And it's really kind of, there's a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different layers to the book. And I don't know, it's just really good and really fun to read.
That's so cool. I wish I could take this Hunger Games class and just
I'm
like be
so
in that
jealous.
discussion.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would love that. Give
I'm
me a
so done.
paper. Oh, I'd love to write that.
I want to major in this class.
I feel like we're all Hunger Games scholars at this point. Like this would be the best thing ever.
Probably. Like, give us our PhDs in the
Yeah,
Hunger Games.
literally.
Anybody else want to talk a little bit?
I can talk a little bit. I read the Hunger Games books, the original trilogy, when I was in middle school. Like, I got this set for Christmas, and I was like, this sounds cool. Like, I'm gonna read it. And so I read that, and then I read Ballad a little bit after it came out, and then I read Sunrise in like August of last year. But before the class, I had only ever read it as just kind of like for fun, like casual reading, I guess. But this class has been really fun for me because I'm very interested in like history and politics and ethics and philosophy and all that kind of stuff. So I've been able to explore the series in much more like in-depth analysis. And so that's been really fun for me to like really read into the series, having been like a casual fan of it before.
It must be so cool getting different perspectives too from people who are reading for the very first time and people who are like revisiting it, especially revisiting since they were a lot younger.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Okay, well, Ronnie, do you want to flip to the next slide and we can
Sure
get into
do.
chapter 2?
Our sixth slide, designed by Emily.
So good.
Whoa.
It's so sick.
Please appreciate once again the orange reread, the paint.
It's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah.
Wow.
See
I
what I
wish
was doing there?
I was showing this off to my coworker the other day, actually. I was like, look at this.
Emily, you were cooking with gas here.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, thank you. So, the beginning of chapter 2, we left off at the reaping where Woodbine Chance gets shot and
That
his head
explodes.
explodes.
Crazy cliffhanger.
So the screens go dark, the flag goes up on the screen, the crowd is kind of in chaos, and yeah, That's where we are at the beginning of chapter 2.
It's very stressful. Everything is just very stressful.
Peeta's dad is stunned.
Yeah. Like when Peeta's dad, he's shook.
Yeah, we get Peeta's dad.
Yeah.
Otho Melark.
Okay, but what kind of name is Otho? I'm
Otho,
so
right?
sorry.
Like, come on, Suzanne.
I'm so sorry to anyone named Otho. That's a very unique name. But for this book, what are we talking about?
Otho just sounds like somebody that does your bidding. Like, oh, I have Otho to do that. Like, like if I make it just sounds like he sounds stupid.
And the description of the meaty hands, like,
Yeah.
come on, you did him dirty.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was sorry. I was just gonna say, I know it says like it's spelled Otho, but every time I would see it, I would just read it as Othello, which has nothing to do with anything. It's just that's how my brain insists on reading it.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Did anybody look up like the origin of the name?
I should have.
Somebody Google it. Does it mean anything? Because I feel like Suzanne always.
Of course, it means something.
Yeah, it has to. It
I'm on the
wealth,
case.
prosperity, apparently. But it also says. Okay. Give me a second. I'll come back to this. He was a Roman emperor, because of course.
Of course.
It's Suzanne Collins.
All I can think about all I've ever imagined is Peeta's dad. Ever since I read the first book, is the dad on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So even like when some people
Absolutely.
saw Woody as young Hamish, I only see the dad. Even as teenagers, I'm like, oh no, he's a grown man with a mustache. Like,
well, there is a picture of like a bust of him. I'm going to send it in the group chat. It's not off on that, honestly.
see. Me and Suzanne are on one track mind right here.
Well, she is your cousin, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Wait, when did that happen?
A while ago.
But this scene though, I remember like reading it being so stressed out because comparatively to like the ballad reaping, which when I read it I thought was very cringy and weird. This was just so jarring. It just goes like shows how like Suzanne just like she goes from 0 to 100 so quickly.
Oh yeah, she always does. I love the automatically I fall on my knees and assume the position.
Yeah.
Like the assume the position part, like just shows how like drilled into them this is, like, and the authority and the obedience is. I don't know, I just love that phrasing.
He's so complicit.
He's so complicit.
They're conditioned for this.
Can that be the tagline on the character posters? He's so complicit.
He's so complicit. Well, like, I would want to know like what Katniss would do in a situation like this, like how she would describe it, because I don't think that she would be like, I assume the position. She'd be like, I got down on the ground, blah blah blah. I don't think that she would be as complicit about it.
Everyone hungers for something, and some people hunger for complicitness, if that's a word. If it's not, I'm making it up right now. I don't know.
New merch idea right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's the new tagline.
Sunrise on the Reaping. He's so complicit.
But I love how Burdock, like, saves him. Saves Mr. Malark.
It's like, little does he know.
It runs down in the family.
Yeah, they just those Everdeen people just really, really want to save the bakers. It's fine. But I just, what was I gonna say? Which one was it?
Also, Drusilla being so upset.
She's so dramatic. I'm so excited to see this on screen. She's like the first time I read this, I hated her so much. But the more I read her, I'm just like, all right, she's kind of a queen.
I mean, villains though are always like the most fun.
Mm-hmm. And it really, she's leading into this whole reality TV like theme.
Yeah.
I have in my notes, because I wrote down my thoughts after each chapter. The last thing I wrote for this chapter is just LMAO at evil Effie Trinket. She's literally the worst.
I am reading this one line. I need to get my first Hunger Games book, um, where she's like asking for his name, and he says, "My name sounds alien as it leaves my lips." It isn't something like similar that Katniss said when she was reaped. Like,
Yes,
what's your
I
name?
think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting. They're so good. And then Hamish Abernanny, great name. Absolutely.
He was warming up.
Warming up.
We get to this moment, page 24, I think, where Hamish is kind of realizing that the games or the live stream isn't really live.
I love this part. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A 5-minute delay, something like that, which I think is really, really interesting. I love those kind of details.
That's a long delay.
Yeah, it is
It is
really
a very
long.
Well,
long
if somebody
delay.
gets shot,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
for
a
this
good.
they need
purpose.
a little
It's
bit
a
of time.
good thing
What?
it
They
isn't.
need body disposal time.
So in the 10th games, that was help refresh my memory. That was live streamed with no delay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to Lucky OS, we're live.
They learned their lesson.
They learned.
It's this scene was just so like it's just so disturbing to me. I don't know. I don't like just how just casual it all is. Like it's so
Yeah,
disgusting.
she says we need another boy. That dead one's
Yeah.
no good. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Immediately.
Yeah. I mean, clearly
Crazy.
he's no good. His head exploded. Like, what is he gonna do? I mean,
On a Suzanne note, like props to her for subverting all expectations with Hamish being the
Mhm.
fourth person read. Like
oh yeah.
completely took
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
off.
Hmm.
It caught me off guard completely,
Mm-hmm.
which was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like we were saying last week. It's that same sort of feeling of surprise as when Prim is reaped
Mhm.
in the first
Mhm.
book. Somehow she recreated that. Um, well, we were talking about Haymitch being very complicit, but someone who isn't is Lenore Dove because she gets right in the middle of everything and is trying to like help out the mother.
The Sejanus
Mm-hmm.
of it all.
No, literally.
But better. Oh, don't
Yeah.
get me started.
Okay. Listen, he's still my baby boy. Okay. I love Sabrina.
I understand. It's just it's
Jake.
like the equivalent of me yelling at my screen when like
Right.
characters are about to walk into a bad situation. I'm like,
Yes,
please stop.
I know.
Please stop.
Listen, he meant well. I mean,
Hi,
this
this
is
is
same with Lenore Dove too.
it's okay, you can do it. Sorry, this is Izzy.
Yeah, go
Off of
ahead. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
please, please,
We
please,
just
please.
kind of keep
No, this is
losing our
so
train of thought,
entertaining. This is great.
going down a line.
What we talked about in our class is acts of kindness, and in the original trilogy, those acts of kindness really pay a long way into Katniss and the other tributes. And I feel like so far in Sunrise, those acts of kindness are not working out for anyone's favor. Like Lenore Dove
Mhm.
Oh,
tries to help,
absolutely.
and Hamish tries to help, and he gets reaped. Like it's not quite working out in the same luck that Katniss had.
Yeah, their luck is terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
That's
he's
so
just
good.
the
Mm-hmm.
unluckiest boy in the world. That's so smart. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Y'all
And
need to talk more.
yeah, I love that point because it definitely shows the contrast of how acts of kindness are tolerated when in a system or in a time period like in Haymitch where uh people were more rebellious as compared to later where Katniss is in the 74th, 75th games, the acts of kindness, they're like Hope was dead. We see a different type of District 12 and it was not as lively. And so I'm curious as to how threatened the system was to acts of kindness from Haymitch compared to Katniss's time. And that's kind of the distinction. Because I sort of believe in luck, but also like not really. I that's kind of the distinction I would take away from that. Like and I like that you guys brought that up and please keep bringing up your insights from class. I would love to hear what you guys talk about.
And I
Appreciate it.
Please, please, please keep talking. That's something I never thought about. This is why we have these discussions. Like, I know it just seems like an easy, young adult novel to read, but the more you talk about it and really think about it, it's so deep. Like, there's a lot.
Hmm. It's nice to have fresh perspective too, because we're used to talking to each other, and I feel like
Yeah.
we kind of talk about the
Yeah.
same things
Yeah.
sometimes, so it's nice to have new opinions.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
We'll try
refreshing.
to contribute. We'll do our best.
Yeah. Interrupt if you have to.
Yeah,
And
please.
then we have Haymitch. I love this line. I just can't grovel on the ground while Lenore Dove's in danger.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I feel like the first point where we're really thinking about this idea of implicit submission and like what does it take to get you to rebel or act against authority? And it's like seeing his loved one in danger. Like
Yeah.
that's it for him.
Mm.
So we have Haymitch intervening. He gets hit by a peacekeeper, and Drusilla decides that he's the replacement.
Oh God.
Lucky him.
Yeah. Just the way that this happens is just so. I mean, like, of course it happened this way. Like, I, it's just so. I don't know. I don't know how to
It's a
explain it.
tragedy. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just so. It's just
it
like, of
is
course, like
it is a Greek tragedy.
This is why we have
Hmm.
you, Gabby. You say what I'm thinking, even though I'm being the most vague as possible. Like, yes, absolutely. It's just so tragic. Like, this is the saddest boy.
Yeah.
Everything sucks.
Saddest boy, saddest
Born on the
book.
worst day to be
Yeah, like
born.
Birthday on the reaping.
Right.
it's like, of course it happens to him. But like, I mean, I know people in real life that are like this, where it's just like there's always something really terrible happening. So like,
Yeah.
it's not like disbelievable, honestly. But poor Haymitch, no wonder.
Mhm.
No wonder
And
he turns out the way he does.
a side note, I'm convinced, like in the original trilogy, Katniss' character's changed because of the amount of trauma she goes through, like physical and emotional. And whenever on page 25, when it talks about basically Haymitch getting a head trauma, I'm so curious. Like now I'm gonna read into it, kind of seeing if that does change his personality more.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, that is such an interesting thought.
Yeah, I'm
Ooh.
like
that's something I didn't even think about.
I'm so clocking this now because I've been learning about it for work, and so I'm just like so interested in this now.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go. Let's
Not a
go.
theory that I've never heard.
Yeah, I need you to like, write a Substack post or something.
Gabby, you at work is like, how can I make this about the Hunger Games? Which is so fair because that's how I live my entire
Yeah,
life.
No,
me
literally
in life.
same.
Everything's about the Hunger Games if you try hard enough.
Literally.
I literally had a college professor once tell me, like, because I was doing a Hunger Games thing for one of my assignments, and he was like, AJ, not everything is about the Hunger Games. And I was like, not with that attitude.
You can connect anything to the Hunger Games.
I believe that
It's what connects
wholeheartedly.
them all.
It's like 7 degrees of separation from the Hunger Games.
Right.
So then at the bottom of 25, we get our first Plutarch appearance.
King, I think. Maybe.
Such a-
All right,
I don't know.
Mark Evansby, I still don't know how to feel about you. I mean,
I
he's
would
my
just-
favorite character, but
He's so interesting.
he's so fascinating.
And it's so unexpected to see him here at the
I
reaping.
screamed.
I was
I was
freaking
so
out.
excited
Uh-huh.
that he was showing up, but I didn't expect him to show up that quickly. So
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Mhm.
And
Definitely
he has a big part in this. Like, I didn't get my Plutarch book, but this is good.
Could have been bigger.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been bigger. It could have been bigger, but like, listen, I will take the Plutarch crumbs as much as I can get them.
How old do we think Plutarch is in this?
I assumed he was like 24, but then they have
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons, who's like 30 something and 40.
That's where I got so confused because I always just assumed like him and Haymitch were almost the same age.
Mhm.
So then when
Mhm.
he showed up, I mean, I get there's not a huge age gap in like a 24-year-old and well, yeah, there's like an 8-year age gap, but
Yeah,
it's still like,
not
dang,
that
that's-
massive.
I
comparatively.
never imagined him that much older, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean,
Yeah,
I know I know
They
Cooper
do.
didn't want to do it for obvious reasons, but like I would have liked Cooper.
Shout out The Long Walk. He was
He
great
was
in
so
it.
good in that
So
movie.
good.
But
Yeah, that's just something that's confusing me is I'm trying to get an age on him at this point. So yeah, if anyone knows that.
I mean,
now
It's
even
tough because
before. Oh,
He's
go
at
ahead.
least 15.
It's just got the movie canon versus like the
The
book
book.
canon, and the book is
Yeah.
vague.
I don't like the big age difference. I mean, he's gonna kill the role. He looks a lot like him, so like I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Right. I think it adds to the mystery of Plutarch Heavensbee. It's like
Yeah,
we don't
because
even know how old he is.
even before Jesse Plemons King was cast,
Mhm.
I was also like, wait a minute, how old is he? Because I mean, I'm always just bad at gauging people's ages in real life, just in general. So never ask me how old I think someone is because I don't know how to answer that question. But I was like, okay, cool. Like I'll just kind of ignore this for now and just wait until the casting, and the casting will tell me what to think.
Not helpful.
And then I was like, okay, so instead they just went with like a creative liberty because like
I think, yeah, I think
and
the original trilogy casting doesn't help because
Mhm.
Suzanne Collins is so vague in her descriptions, even for Senna. Like, we
Yeah.
don't know how old
Yeah.
Senna is. He could be,
So true.
22, 45. We just have, Lenny Kravitz giving us a rough a gauge. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know, unfortunately, just what the directors wanted.
I
yeah.
think it's we have Lenny Kravitz for some reason, but he killed it. Like anytime I show anyone the Hunger Games for the first time, they're like, "Is that Lenny
Lenny
Kravitz?" Like,
Kravitz.
he's like doing a side
Oh,
quest, like just being in the Hunger Games movies.
oh, Lenny,
But
why?
perfect casting. But no, I mean, like, but then even when it goes, like back to her descriptions, like even when there is like an obvious description, like with Rue and Amandla was cast, and people are like, Rue isn't black. It's like it literally says she is. Like
Right.
Yeah, people are stupid.
I don't understand.
Dumb.
So like I like her vague descriptions for like characters though, because that means you can cast like any race, like anything like that. Like it's very open for interpretation.
Like Peter and Ballad, like that was like I would
Yeah.
never
Oh my
imagine him
god.
as him, but it makes so much sense now seeing it, you know?
No, right when he
That's
was cast, I
true.
was like, that's immediately perfect.
As soon as Peter was cast, I was like, well, obviously.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
know,
yeah.
it was so
I had
obvious.
no fan cast, no expectation, nothing. And as soon as that was announced, I'm like, well, there's obviously nobody else. Like it's been Peter since the beginning. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Back to Sunrise.
I am curious. I have a question for our guests. I'm curious if there's been any specific conversation about Plutarch at this point.
Yes.
I know it's only chapter 2, but it's a jam-packed chapter. So I'm curious if there were any specific themes or questions or anything that has been discussed in your class yet.
Or just your opinions on Plutarch in
Yeah,
general.
or that's fine too.
For our most recent assignment that we did, one of the questions that I was assigned to focus on, like, was Plutarch, and his, like, how we're introduced to him in part 1 in general, but I can focus just on chapter 2 for this, and then also how Haymitch perceives him. And
Hmm.
he's a very, like he is in the trilogy, he's seems to be a pretty morally ambiguous character because he does like objectively good things. Like his first act in the book is saving Lenore's life, even though he like frames it in a way that's like, oh, we'll need her for footage later. Like he still technically saved her life. And then
Yeah.
he also allowed for the families to say goodbye to the tributes, but he did it in a way where he like forced them to reenact like crying over their loved ones at the reaping, which was kind of where some of that gray area comes in. So we were just kind of in our class discussions today talking about how Plutarch seems to have good intentions, but he also is capital, and it is clear that sometimes that influence can maybe cloud the way that he approaches like putting his morals into action.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, we had like kind of discussed it a little bit. I think it was last week where one of the lines in Mockingjay that Plutarch said was like, "If I have to put you through this again, I would." Like for this outcome, he just he's chaotically good. I guess I don't really know where I would like put him on that scale, but
Mm-hmm.
he's willing to like make people suffer for a good turnout. It's like it's very bizarre.
His
Mm-hmm.
morality is not number one. The
No.
goal is number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
And I know there was a line where Haymitch, like at first Haymitch he like said he's unpredictable as lightning, might be worth staying on his good side, like kind of
yeah.
his first encounter with Plutarch. But then later on, after I can't remember if this happens in this chapter, but it's not like a major spoiler. He's just saying like Plutarch acts friendly, but what he does is just like his, I guess, redeemable acts that he's done are just a way to manage him, because like happy playthings are easier to handle than raging ones. So he kind of eventually perceives Plutarch's actions of like saving Lenore Dove's life and allowing him a moment to say goodbye to his family as just a method to manage him, so he's able to manipulate him into doing what he wants for the camera.
So he has some cynicism to how he perceives Plutarch.
Yeah. I also thought it was interesting that the only two characters we've been able to see Plutarch through are Katniss and Haymitch. We're both very distrusting characters.
Yeah.
And also influences how we perceive him and
exactly.
the level of moral ambiguity that he seems to have.
That's so good. That's so good. And
That's so good.
how I like engage with Plutarch in my head is like if I were in his position, like if I were in the Capitol and I wanted to bring it down, what would I do? How would I act? And I think I would do exactly what he does. I think that is the strategy for like either that or to try to defect to maybe District 13, but like of what, of what substance will that help?
Yeah,
Like
because
he
sorry.
legitimately took it down from the inside.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, I also wonder what the perception is from the Capitol. Like, how do other Capitol people view him? Because also he's a Heavensbee and they're like a prominent Capitol family. So it's, I guess you could infer that because of that status, that they hold some sort of importance, they have influence, money, resources. So to then see like the young Heavensbee kid or however old this person is, out here doing crazy, quote unquote, crazy things in District 12, how does that get perceived at home, i.e. the Capitol in this case? Because of that like ambiguity, he is playing both sides in a sense, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's a very slippery guy.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
What?
I've never liked him. I think he's evil.
Wow.
I think he's the most
You think he's
political
evil?
person.
Man, you sound like Haymitch.
I think he's an evil guy. I think he's the most non-politician politician. The only reason he helps them at all in the trilogy is because their end goals line up. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have rescued them. He wasn't out
Maybe.
for the goodness of the world. He was out to make a
I-
mark on
I have
history.
to disagree with that, but for spoiler reasons, so we'll come back to that at a later time. But we can sidebar about that, but I have to disagree.
Yeah.
Make a note right now.
Yeah, Plutarch definitely, like, he thinks sometimes he's high and mighty that what he's doing is for the good, but it definitely is what he wants and what he wants to get done and out of it, whether that is morally good or not.
Yeah, we kind of defined him as like consistently a wild card. Like he's consistent in the fact that he does whatever is best in his self-oriented view.
Yeah.
He would be if Gale was a better character.
That is the wildest take, but I agree with it. I understand this vision. I see it.
I think what bugs me is his lack of self-awareness at times, especially in the original trilogy, which I know we're not talking about, but like some of the comments he makes, it's just like he's unaware. He has that capital unawareness
Unawareness.
about him,
Mhm.
I guess is the word, where it's like, how do you not realize how you sound right now?
Mm,
Even
I
though
can,
you are in
yeah.
the midst of helping people, you just sound like
tone
the
deaf.
people you're fighting against
More
sometimes.
so
Right.
in the book as well.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
At the end of Mockingjay, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's
There's
a
one
good
scene with
point.
Katniss. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he says he'd put her through it again just is like,
Yeah, that's a crazy
that's
line.
just an absolute slap in the face, but whatever. I'll get off my soapbox.
It's okay, your sister died, you know? Like,
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
like
saved the
See,
country.
And
see,
when
I
they
don't.
put it on
in the book, he's
television.
much more responsible for
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like
See, I don't.
involved in that, and the movie does not hold him accountable.
Gail
It's
gets
all Coin.
scapegoated.
Okay, so I don't think he is saying like, "Oh, I'm glad your sister's dead," or she
Right.
deserves death,"
I'm
or
glad you
"I
saw horror
wanted
and still
her
haunted.
dead." But
The
he's like, if
unfortunate.
that happened, and if that is necessary for that random act to happen in order to obtain like systematic freedom and for this revolution to become of substance, then that's what's going to have to happen. It's a different form of what Gail's mindset was. Um, but I think it's softer than what Gail had. I think Gail had a lot more hatred, and Plutarch doesn't.
I see that. I definitely see that. Because like I mean, good things are I guess outcomes of like really bad situations. And it's like I don't want to say I'm glad that this situation happened for this outcome to happen, but like, things need to change somehow.
Hmm. And not to say I agree with Plutarch's perspective of morality. I have different, like moral and ethic codes than this character. But I do think he is incredibly morally ambiguous and also necessary for the whole plot.
Oh yeah.
As necessary as Katniss was and as Haymitch was.
I
I
mean,
was
he's
also
basically Oh, go ahead.
I was also wondering, like, would it have been possible for the revolution to have had the same footing and like be successful if they hadn't had a double agent? Because I feel like his moral ambiguity lent itself to him being able to pass as a supporter of the capital while receiving inside information. And I wonder, like, if he hadn't had those capital prejudices, even though he again had some moral ambiguity, like I don't know that he necessarily believed like that the districts were fully like savages as much as other capital citizens did, but if he hadn't had that moral ambiguity, would he have been as successful in the revolution as he was, and would the revolution itself even
Right.
have been
No.
that
Because we
successful?
would
Yeah,
just
you
have
need
another
him.
Sejanus. We would just have
Yeah.
another
Yeah,
Sejanus.
even
Yeah.
like Katniss,
Oh, my baby.
Haymitch, they can't help but get involved. They would never be able to play double
Yeah.
agent the same way.
Right.
They
No,
can't.
and no, Plutarch Heavensby, I think, is the most important character in the Hunger Games franchise because it just seems like he's like Madam Web, like the Dakota Johnson 2024 movie. His web connects them all. Like
Mm.
he literally is instrumental in like every part of this like revolution. I don't know. He's very
Amen.
Yep.
important.
Okay, so back to the reaping. We're 4 pages
Sorry,
in,
y'all.
guys. Um, so we reset the reaping, which is wild, redoing everything with Wyatt, and then Haymitch shares his name because he's going to be a tribute, which Ronnie you mentioned before.
Yeah,
We get
Abernathy.
this line from Haymitch. It's like it's happening to someone else while I watch from a distance. Ugh,
Mm.
Mm.
just
It's
hurts my
so
heart.
sad.
That's disassociation. He's
Yeah.
disassociating.
He says I have an impulse to flee like Woodbine did, but remember the look of his brains hanging out of his skull.
Whoa,
Crazy.
Great,
Thank
great,
you,
Suzanne.
Suzanne.
too far.
Just a heartbreaking page. He
It's
reaches for Burdock and Blair, but they're not there.
Oh,
Ugh,
that got me.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Has the confetti fallen yet?
Oh
No.
God.
That's at the
I
end,
I
Ronnie.
Hate
need that.
that.
I'm sorry. I need that to be in the movie. We'll get to it. I love that. I
I
love that.
agree. I agree. And then I we have kind of this tagline that was used for the book where Haymitch says that Lenore Dove isn't crying. They won't use our
Mhm.
tears for their entertainment.
Powerful.
Great line.
What a
Drusilla pulling out the may the odds be ever in your favor.
Mm.
And then we get the confetti, Ronnie.
Absolutely. All right, we're ready for it. That's crazy. Okay, so I think the first time I read it, I didn't like process that because when I reread it, I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize like this. It's very messed up. I just really need this in the movie. I think it's very like it's such a gruesome visual for what's going on.
I feel like
Um,
it's very fitting to the aesthetic also,
yeah,
like the
Mhm.
70s vibe, just
yeah.
like the color.
I mean,
A
they
disco
have
ball comes out from the ceiling.
absolutely. That'd be amazing from the ceiling
Love
outside.
it.
Woodstock vibes.
I really
Or in the
hope they keep
train.
that in, but I don't think they will.
Well, they have the champagne in the trailer,
Yeah.
Oh,
which
they do?
I did
Mm-hmm.
not
Wait,
realize when I saw the trailer, I didn't remember that part in the book.
wait, what?
Rereading it literally today, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
shit." Oh,
It's a
sorry.
very
Okay,
cool,
maybe
like,
there's hope.
I think it
champagne
might be,
glass.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I please, I need this to be a thing. Lionsgate, I know you're
I
listening.
feel like we would have got that leaked though.
I don't think
But
so.
maybe it's CGI.
Yeah, can you
Maybe.
imagine the setup to redo the scene
You're
after
right,
the
Oh
you're right.
gosh.
Oh
Maybe
That'd
my
it's
be
CGI.
awesome.
gosh. I always feel bad for the people at like sporting events. They have to mop all that up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Looks miserable.
This is like the winners of the sub like Bachelor or some shit where
Yeah,
they're like
it's
the
it
confetti, the champagne's getting passed around.
it's very trashy. It's very trash TV.
I'd be scooping it up if I was an extra.
It's very live,
I'll
new
volunteer to sweep
era.
it up, after every
Whatever.
take, and then I'll just keep it.
Put in
Yep.
garbage bags. It's like, what are you taking off set? Oh, just garbage. But I like I love that visual. I just think they'd be really cool if they did it. If they don't, it's fine. They have the champagne.
Which top of 29, that's the champagne moment where the assistant like accidentally offers it to Haymitch and is like, "Whoops, none for the children."
Wow.
Which I loved that.
Yeah.
Can I please? Okay.
I hope that that's in it.
That,
Surprised they even called them children.
Yeah,
right? That to me was a slap in the face in the best way possible. That came from Suzanne. Like that was
yeah.
so direct. The
Hmm.
irony of it all, the commentary of it all. Ugh, I live.
And not to even be goofy, but like, well, what? Who am I kidding? To be a little goofy, like honestly, it kind of gives you a little insight into the legal system of Pan Am too. Like there are
Yeah.
basic age requirements. You
That's
don't
their
get much.
HR policy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't get much info on like what are the laws here, other
They've
than
got
like
HR for the
charge.
Hunger Games.
I think it was terrific. Good job, Susie.
He never disappoints. Um, just like and then the way that Drusilla just like starts yelling at everybody. It's just like filthy beasts. Like great. I know Glenn Close is gonna eat that. If it's in there.
I hope her veneers fall out or something like crazy.
That'd be no, that would be so
That
I
would
think that
be
would be funny.
awesome.
brand. That would be perfect. That would be so perfect for the character, honestly. um,
We
uh,
get Haymitch questioning himself. Why didn't I step in sooner? Why did I wait until I had no choice but to defy that soldier? Was I feeling afraid, confused, or just powerless in the face of those white uniforms?
Wow, naming a lot of emotions there. Phew.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
just
feel like, just to be maybe a little critical, what we were talking about last week, how this feels like not very subtle. I feel like this
Hmm.
is one of the first sections that really felt kind of on the nose for me. Like it's
yeah,
good, but I feel like there's maybe it could have been scaled back just a little bit. Like
Yeah.
only one of these sentences would have sufficed, you know?
I
Or
see. Yeah.
he could have just said, "I'm complicit."
Yeah, I think it's really the why did I wait until I had no choice but to defy that soldier? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it feels a
Well,
little
I would like to ask our guests actually, like, what you think about Haymitch's complicity in all of this, like, comparatively to like Katniss.
I think it is in a way submission, yes, but he has so much to live for and care about. Like, yes, like it kind of is submitting, like everyone is getting on the ground. But this is a generation of people who have things that they could lose indirectly do right directly from the capital, so they feel they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I think Katniss, she does, but it seems a lot more desolate, and she may not always think about those consequences as much all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
Mm-hmm.
also discussed earlier just that he is a lot more content in general with his life.
Mm-hmm.
His
Yeah.
mom was a lot more present, which meant yes, he grew up quickly, but in a happier way.
hmm
Yeah.
And so it just like he's content with his job, he's content with his family, he's content with his girlfriend. I mean, he makes the most of his life there
Mm-hmm.
and kind of is not happy to live within the limits of it, but makes the most of living within the limits of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys listen to our episode last week? Because that's what we talked about. It was great. No, you guys are. I'm so glad you guys are here. We're all on the same page about this.
Yeah, it's they're I don't know, his complicit complicity
Complicity.
complicity
Compliance.
Compliance.
it,
Compliance.
he compliance, thank you.
words.
It has to, I mean, in the first chapter, we get an understanding of how he views himself, of like, oh, my dad was this one guy, but I feel very different from my family's namesake. And, you'd think that they'd be okay with me with Lenore because I'm so, even-tempered or however he describes himself, and so and here, like, I agree with you, Emily, the point of it was a little too on the nose. One of it was maybe the question of why didn't I step in sooner? That is a really great key to seeing like this character, like Haymitch as a character, he's about to totally change. He's about to totally become the person who does step into action and justice as like Lenore Dove does. And that becomes like dormant for a long time with his addiction, and then we see it come alive in the trilogy. So it's like so I think it's this is the beginning of a new of a start of just a person who is multifaceted in so many ways, but essentially like he is so fundamentally different from Katniss, and so much of his life going right as you guys described, I think is the key difference between him and like Katniss's personality trait of being justice oriented.
I also find it interesting. I feel like Haymitch is more rebellious earlier on in like his life in the reaping process than Katniss is, because Katniss obviously takes a very long time to decide whether or not she wants to be the Mockingjay.
Yeah.
But I feel like pretty much as soon as Haymitch enters the capital, like he does rebel, which I think is interesting.
He wants to watch it burn. He's like, you know what? A plot to blow up the arena. Let's do it. And it's different because like with Katniss, like you said, like nobody even wanted to tell Katniss
Yeah.
that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
hmm
she like they just kind of were like, she'll do it somehow. I guess we'll hope. And she did it, which is good. But still,
Crazy.
it is very different.
And without getting like into spoilers, I feel like a lot of that difference, at least to me, is they both are hesitant because they're trying to protect people that they love, but I think Haymitch is a little bit more naive
Yeah.
about what potentially could happen.
Yeah.
than Katniss was.
Yeah. Katniss, I think, just like she thinks more critically and like more thoughtful. I think Haymitch acts a little bit more on impulse.
He is a teenage boy, with all due
Yeah.
respect.
No,
He's a
literally, yeah,
17-year-old
literally.
boy.
Very
Like,
big.
bodies
True.
that fully. I have a
No.
17-year-old brother. Like, it's not that different.
And
Listen,
like
I
we said,
remember being
Katniss,
17. My God.
yeah, Katniss has had to be the provider, so she's already been in that like role about
Yeah.
thinking about protecting the people she loves a little bit more.
And Haymitch had a boy mom.
So funny.
So that's why he did well. He did well.
So we're at the goodbyes. Mr.
It's
Donner
horrible.
tries to pay to get them to
Oh,
release Maisley, which is just so upsetting.
I also hope that that's in the movie. That's crazy.
Drusilla says straight to the train, so they're not going to get any goodbyes. We see the twins hug each other and get ripped apart. And Plutarch asks the families to kind of reenact their shock and makes a deal that if they do, that they can have a few more minutes with Haymitch.
Which is, I think this is the most like messed up thing to me. Like, imagine going through something so traumatic and then just being like, all right, let's just do this again. And you're going to be on camera.
And Plutarch is kind of horrible because he
Yeah.
tries to get it with the McCoys, right?
Yeah.
But they refuse. And then when she gets taken away, then they just use that reaction shot.
It's
Yeah. Ooh.
Echo.
whoever wants to go first.
I have a question on bottom of page 31. The line Plutarch says, "Wait, if you were in the reaping, get out of the picture." Do we understand the purpose?
Oh.
I think because they're doing a crowd shot,
Yeah. I
right?
think
So they don't want the tributes who were
yeah,
reaped in the
Oh yeah,
footage, right?
yeah,
yeah, in terms of
I hesitated there
cinematography,
too.
they're different angles.
yeah.
I thought it was kind of a weird way to phrase it, but
That's fair.
So it's like her half dozen brothers and sisters in front of the bakery. So if the siblings who were already in the reaping during like the ceremony, but why would you not want to be in the picture in front of the bakery?
I guess because it was just the parents.
I'm so confused. Maybe I'm
Are you
just
questioning Suzanne?
I think it's just him trying to set up the shot so that it looks like it was during the reaping.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Emily. Thank you. I got there. All right. It
Okay,
finally
yeah.
clicked. Thank you.
No,
Sorry.
I paused there and like reread it too because I was like, what does this mean? But
I've never thought about that line, but like once you started talking about it, Gabby, I was like, wait a second. So yeah, no, thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. I was like, man, I am missing something. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Let's see.
so I'm on page 33, but Haymitch's family does several different takes, like all the different takes that Plutarch is making them do. Come on.
It's giving like Mockingjay Part 1, like Jennifer Lawrence being like,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you were just in battle. I
My
guess he is. I mean,
justice.
he's probably. I mean, he's trained at this. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's getting his feet wet for the propos,
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Which I mean, this is what it is. I mean, it's propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly
So,
what that is.
which I've never connected the two scenes before, but like that's so interesting. He just operates so similar. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, he's like developing the skills and then will eventually wind up using that for the rebel cause, but first you
Had to
gotta
learn it somewhere.
yeah.
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 Oh.
I Okay, I have a question, another question on page 33. This is more of a theory question, and maybe not, I don't want to get into it because it could lead to spoilers. But do you think the goodbye of like Haymitch to like his family, his to Ma and Sid, do you think they got that on camera?
Probably.
Because I at first when I was first reading through it, I assumed like he was like, oh, just wrapping it up there in 5. You guys got 2 minutes. But it doesn't. So in my head, I'm like, oh, he's walking away, but it doesn't say that he's walking away or anything like that. And so I'm just curious if they ended up getting that. If you guys thought that maybe they got that on camera.
I wouldn't be surprised if like he quickly panned the camera like just to get a quick goodbye, like maybe from a distance.
Yeah.
But that's not surprising, like from what we know.
Yeah, it'd be very on par for him, I think.
Yeah.
They'll
Okay.
always be rolling, yeah.
But would they want the audience to know that they weren't in the Justice Building saying goodbyes?
Maybe it's not for
Oh.
the audience.
Yeah, but also like
Oh,
See,
okay.
yeah.
maybe they wouldn't even think about it. Is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay,
Like, I mean,
thanks.
when
I just
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just saying thanks. I just
Oh,
Could
wanted
go
to ask
either
that.
way.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was gonna
think.
say like when I watch the news, like if you know, I don't care about where the location is necessarily. So like I wouldn't pay attention if it was like in front of the Justice Building or whatever.
That's
There's
the
just
kind of thing that Bonnie and Twill would pay attention to.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, AJ.
Absolutely.
That's a deep
Oh,
cut
deep
for
cut.
you right there.
Bro.
Wait, that was in front of the Justice Building this time, not inside of it.
What's happening in District 12?
You know,
Okay,
this probably like
so
radicalized somebody.
they say goodbye. They hug goodbye. Haymitch tells Sid that he's the man of the house now. His mom,
Oh.
Haymitch, say I love you. And then Haymitch thinks of his father's words to Sarshi,
Crazy. Yeah.
who is a past tribute, who they as a family, the Abernathys, had all said goodbye to in the past. And his father had told her, don't let them use you.
I mean, PETA.
Mhm.
It's giving PETA. It's
Which
like
I feel like goes along with us learning in the past that the Abernathys have always been kind of rebellious. So
yeah,
it makes sense that his father was and like would give this advice.
yeah.
Sid begs them not to take away his brother.
It's
Oh.
like it's giving like Prim saying goodbye to Katniss in the first Hunger Games. It's so upsetting.
And then we get to the last page of the chapter. This is like one of my favorite moments, I feel like, in the whole book. But Haymitch is trying to remember images of District 12, and then he sees Lenore Dove on the hill. She tilts her head back and wails her loss and rage into the wind. And Haymitch smashes his fists against the glass, which I love because it
I love
reminds me
that
so
So
much
good.
of
Yeah,
Katniss with Peeta at the
Mhm.
end of the first games. I feel like there are several moments in this chapter that are likening their relationship to like the best parts, like our favorite parts about Katniss and Peeta.
Mhm.
yeah.
Like when he met her for the first time and was thinking about all the reasons why he loves her.
Yeah.
That was in chapter 1, but it reminds me so much of like Katniss listing the things about Peeta in Mockingjay.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed. I have a hot take. I
Oh my
like.
God.
I know. I'm so sorry. I didn't like. Okay, I like the visual of Lenore Dove like standing outside in the rain while Haymitch is on the train. It's so cinematic to me where I was just like it kind of took me out of the book for a minute.
So good that it was bad?
No, no, no,
Is
no.
that what you're saying?
No. It was just so cinematic to me that
And
like
what's wrong with that?
no. It was no. It's great.
Emily.
He's
It's great.
planning a
Fight.
movie.
But it was like giving movie to me. I don't know. Like I was just, I don't know how to explain my.
Okay.
It was
I
weird.
agree, Ronnie.
But
It's great.
wait,
Y'all.
Chase,
Did you
do you
say
agree?
did you say
Yeah,
it was
although I'm not a
theater?
huge Lenore Dove fan, so maybe I'm a little biased.
No,
You
I
just don't
love
like the
Lenore Dove.
covey.
I
No, I
just
love
felt like it was a
character.
replay from the other book. Are we
And
really
like
doing this again?
I do like the visual of like Haymitch like beating his fists into the glass like just like in Hunger Games, but it was just so off-putting to me at first when I first
What?
read it. I don't know.
So
Thanks for sharing.
the first
We
okay, the first visual that came to my mind when I first read it was like a werewolf howling.
Yeah, no, that was what it was giving that. I was like, I don't.
But then I reread it and I said, "Oh,
No, it's very sweet. Trust me, I like it. I like it, and I think it's gonna look really good on screen. It's just,
Maybe it's because, these Covey girls are theater kids at heart.
yes,
you know?
for
Exactly.
real,
Just very
Exactly.
dramatic and
for
That's
expressive.
it.
real."
as a theater
That's
kid,
it.
yes, that you put that in perspective for me. All right, I love
Because,
it.
yeah, because, I still remember reading Lucy Gray's shenanigans the first time around, and I was like,
Oh, I
girl, what are
know.
you
The
doing
reaping.
eating rose
Oh
He's
petals?
my
a
gosh.
theater kid. Like, it
I,
just makes sense.
True.
I remember
Yeah.
being very annoyed with Lucy Gray when I was reading it for the first time because I was like, this girl's crazy.
Ronnie,
But
you should understand.
I know, but
This is theater kid on theater kid crime.
no, like I didn't imagine
Crazy.
Suzanne Collins doing a theater kid. Like
Suzanne
She's a
Collins is a
theater
theater kid.
she's a
She
theater
is a
kid.
theater
I know
kid.
she's a theater
The
kid, but
call
like
is coming from inside the house, Ronnie. That's what's happening.
I knew she was a theater
listen,
kid when she did the
it
southern
was just
accent while she read the book.
it
She
was
really
very fun.
was.
It was very different than the original trilogy. She didn't have, I mean, she had an Effie and stuff, but like she didn't have a whimsical girl, like theater girl. Like and that's exactly what we're giving in both of these books, Ballad and Sunrise. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Wait, are you
Maybe,
wait, hold on. You're saying it's giving whimsical theater girl?
or just theater girl in general,
Okay.
or just theater kid. Because I like to imagine myself as like that sometimes. I'd love to be Lucy Gray.
The love of her life is being ripped away from her, Ronnie.
She's also 16.
That's
We keep forgetting that these are 16-year-olds.
R.I.P. Lenore Dove. Like that's not a spoiler. It takes place in. It's fine. You would love TikTok edits. She makes some very emotional TikTok edits.
Oh my gosh. But I love how the chapter ends. The moments our hearts shattered, it belonged to us.
Yeah, that's
So
well
good.
said.
Be well said, and also, in my opinion, very theater kid-like thing to say. It's dramatic, very
It's
poetic.
dramatic. It is very dramatic.
And it is. It's not
Yeah.
like wrong. I'm just observing.
Yeah. Like if this whole thing is a tragedy and this whole the whole concept of taking kids and killing them, like that's dramatic. Like that's crazy. This is
Right.
and it's fiction. It's supposed to do that to elicit a response, an emotional response from us. That's the whole point of like Greek tragedies and stuff. And
I'm
this
sorry
and they're
I created such a debate here. You convinced me. It's a beautiful scene.
We love theater kids here. We love them.
No,
We love
literally.
them.
I mean, I always forget to kind of frame her as a theater kid when I read it. It's just because like the first books for me were like at least a little bit more. They felt serious to me when I was younger.
right.
So I never thought of the theater kid
It's-
aesthetic. When I was reading The Hunger Games, that was never a thing in my head. I was like, this like, who's this weird girl? But like, no, she's a theater kid.
Oh my gosh, Ronnie.
Ronnie, you're allowed to live your truth and break your silence. Like this is a
No,
safe
I
space.
am, but honestly, I've learned my lesson.
No, it's funny.
All
and
opinions
fun.
are
No,
welcome here.
I'm kidding. You guys literally have genuinely convinced me. Do not worry about it.
No, but also like it did give me a werewolf imagery. Like that's just the first thing I associated with.
Not the howling.
That is exactly, you put
It's
my
the
feelings into
wailing.
words.
It's the
It's the wailing.
Instead of like imagining a very traumatic moment as one would with the word whale, I thought of howling. I don't know why.
No, I understand. If she would have just like stood there, that would be emotional. But the fact that she's like screaming, but granted, she's a theater kid.
Oh, you're so
Dude,
funny.
listen, we all need to go outside in the rain and just scream.
Yeah.
Feel the
At
rain
some
on your
point.
skin.
We all deserve
Ooh.
it. How everything's
Thank
going
you.
on in this world, let's just go outside and scream.
Jerry said this is the most heated debate since the cheese bun debate.
That's real.
That's true.
Real and ongoing.
No, and I know
For our guests that
when
don't
we see
know.
it, I know when I see it in the movie, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be like, all right, that's beautiful, and I will cry.
And the blue drink.
Oh,
Oh my
don't get me
God.
started on
We've
that.
had several
Gabby.
just ridiculous debates.
It's Powerade.
We've had the longest running debate on whether pita's cheese buns are sweet cheese buns or savory cheese buns. So, you know.
Do
And
we?
that's crucial to the story.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, when you talk about the Hunger Games as much as we do,
Okay.
It's like, do you want a
we
cheddar
get
bay
down to
biscuit
it.
or do you want a cream cheese Danish?
One
So
of our
wrong.
Chase, stop.
One of our longest episodes is ranking all of the food in the Hunger Games movies.
Top tier episode.
Ooh.
Top tier.
That's my
That's a
favorite
top
episode.
tier episode. I highly recommend listening to it.
I think I screamed the
Okay.
most
Very
on that
long.
episode.
I literally screenshot every single food item in the movies, and we tier
All
rank
the
them.
movies.
Emily, you're
So,
amazing.
that's what we do here.
Ironically enough, there are no
It gets-
cheese buns in the movies.
No.
No,
Right.
there aren't.
What?
Maybe that's for the best. Maybe they knew the debate was just too powerful.
Yeah,
After they
would've-
got rid of Gary Ross, they knew I would burn the theater down if they also put in savory cheese buns.
Okay, guys, to wrap this up, I feel like I'd like to hear from our students who are joining us. You've only read through part one, or so for those of you who haven't finished the book yet, is there anything that you're hoping for in parts 2 and 3, or any like predictions that you may have?
I mean,
Um,
I read the book before once, so I like plot wise I already know what's gonna happen, but I'm very interested to see more of like the philosophical aspects play out and like read more deeply into that.
yeah, Emily and I have already read the books,
Yeah.
and I think it's just seeing those little details that when you're having a critical eye, like I read it last summer and I wasn't really like, oh my gosh, they said this. That means that. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Hamage.
Yeah. I know the biggest moment for me when I first read it though was actually in chapter 1 when she said that he didn't like alcohol. And so I spent the entire book going, "Oh my God, what's happening to get
Yeah.
to that point?" And so that was like my entire I was just waiting for all the horrible stuff to happen. And I was like, this is gonna be way worse than I thought it was.
Right.
I'm not a drinker myself.
Oh
Ugh.
God.
Yet. What were y'all's? I would like to actually ask you guys what your thoughts on chapter 1 was.
Are
It
you
was
saying like
good.
the family connections, like and all the
No, just
characters
like
kind of?
well, like since they weren't here last week and we talked about chapter 1, like, there's any like insights that they have about it.
Um,
If not, that's okay.
it was definitely like almost feels like a Marvel movie when like they come all together and you're like, that's so and so, and like in Endgame or Infinity War, and you're like, those are the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you're seeing all these names, and you're like, oh my goodness, like those are, you know, Katniss's parents, Peeta's parents. Oh my goodness, they're so like
And then it just like keeps happening. Like it's
yeah, and you're like, who like especially even on, you're like, what? It's just a whole family reunion. You're like, oh my goodness, who else is gonna come through the door?
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad I asked this question. Absolutely. That's a great comparison.
Sorry,
Just
I'm a
imagining like just sunrise starting and the portals open and just like everybody
yes.
starts walking out.
Yes, you hear the great like music and portals and yeah, like it is such like almost like Easter eggs. Like if you don't
Yeah.
know, like you're
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
thing is,
Yeah.
like, Easter eggs are supposed to be subtle.
no, these are
That's
not
true.
subtle.
So
It was
I mean,
a
you'd be
lit
confused if you didn't read Ballad, but
No, that's
right.
right.
but, like, but if you are aware of the Hunger Games, I think in general, the first like reading Sunrise would be like, oh, you hear all the names.
that's why
If
we
you
had to put Mr. Millark at the beginning of chapter 2. It's
exactly,
too
Yeah.
much for chapter 1.
Yeah.
exactly. But, like, I mean, it keeps going though. Like we get like wider.
It really
answers.
does.
Yeah. I did feel like it was a lot of coincidences, not necessarily the District 12 people, because we know this is that generation. So it
Yeah.
makes sense in a very small town, they're gonna all know each other. Especially when you get into later people, like it did feel like a almost like we're just kind of throwing people. And while I love all of them and their roles are so cool, it is like that's like
It does get
everybody
to be a
we know.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
But we trust Suzanne Collins.
Yes, and Suzanne
Trust
we
the
trust, and
process.
it does work. Like my initial read of it was very jarring when all of that happened, but like the longer that I've have read it and stuff and have reread it, it just I get used to it.
I
Okay.
think that's a really good impression of this book, though, is just the word jarring. Like everything that happens is so bold,
Yes,
even in comparison to anything else, like any of the other books. It's just so much more, I feel.
she's literally just like beating us in the head with a baseball bat,
Mhm.
like metaphorically, but like
Yeah.
it's what it feels like,
Yeah.
and I feel like she definitely. I mean, she's never said this, but I do think she has kind of like written this as a response to like Ballad, getting like mixed reviews and just being like, here, this is if this is what you want, this is what you want, um, and she's just like, you guys didn't get the message the first time. Like, let me just beat this
Yeah.
into you. Like,
Yeah. The
she,
world hasn't learned. We're gonna repeat
yeah,
this
I mean,
louder.
she's basically
Yeah.
doing implicit submission on us. Like,
Yeah. It reminds me of when Plutarch says, like, we're in the time in the trilogy. He's like, we're in that time where everyone remembers what we did and no one wants to repeat
yes,
it. And maybe it'll stick. Like,
that's great
maybe
writing
the
about that one day.
lessons, yeah, maybe one day they'll stick.
And
I love that. I love that
and
comparison.
it hasn't stuck yet, it seems.
No.
If anything, it has been unstuck deliberately.
And I just feel like she's just gonna keep writing stuff as long as this is going on, honestly.
So maybe we'll get book 6.
Let's hope so.
See you guys in the year 2046 when we get the 46th installment.
Oh.
I would read anything that she published for the Hunger Games.
I will die on the hill that I would read a Hunger Games book about the Panamanian Postal Service. There
Yeah.
has to be some kind of I
How do
want
they
to
get their
know. This
mail?
is the thing. This is how you know that you spend too much time thinking about the Hunger Games when you're like, damn, my dream book would be like the infrastructure of that. Like, I want to know
Absolutely.
how
No,
the
but for real,
railways
yeah.
work. I want to understand how they transport goods, what the schedules are like, how do they make those decisions? Like, I want to know that so bad.
Do they have
So,
town hall meetings? Like, what's
yes.
going on?
Okay, guys, how many kids are we gonna kill this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which 46 is it's a little crazy. I don't know.
Well, I feel like I'm like, is that a good place to stop? How many
Yeah,
kids
why
are we gonna
not?
kill? But we are at time, so I'm gonna send us off and thank you guys so much for joining this week. Thank you guys, our students, for joining this week as well. This was so much fun to have you on this week, and we're looking forward to more students joining us on future episodes. This was great.
Yeah.
And happy anniversary to the Hunger Games movie.
Yes,
Oh my
happy
gosh, yes.
14th
Yes.
anniversary. We were going to talk
Yay.
about it, but we just yapped so much.
Yeah, no,
We
It'd be
always
like
talk
that.
more than
outstanding.
we think we're
We
going
always
to.
yap.
Yeah, but we will see you all here again next week for
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
not next week. Next week I'm on vacation, so we are going to skip next week. But 2
Yeah.
weeks from now we will be back for chapter 3. So see you all then and have a great night.
Whoop, whoop.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.